It's going to be a giveaway to my biggest course that I teach. It's a 5-month program called the Success Academy, and it's over a $2,000 value. So today, for one of you who is attending live, I'm going to give you a free seat in. So we'll announce that at the very end. But let's go ahead and get started. And yes, so if any like burning questions come up as I'm talking, feel free to drop it in the comment section and I will absolutely get back to you. We're going to open it up for question and answer at the end. You know, as a gift of attending it live, that's the benefit that you get. So who am I? Some of you might know me from posting about Moroccan magic in Christina's group. I own, it's a very large now, lip balm, organic lip balm company. We sell in Walgreens, CVS, Target, you name it, we're in it. Your local grocery store carries it. But I'm definitely a consumer goods expert, have been for 8 to 10 years. I've also loved building communities. So I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts. So I own Boston Businesswomen, and our group has grown to about 40 or so thousand, but it's a very, very active group. We have some subgroups we've built out, Spiritual Women of New England, but I've turned that business into the largest networking group for women in the New England area. So we have, I think, about 2,000 members who go through our programming. And with that, I am going to go ahead and get started. There's so much to cover, so I'm going to try to get through it. I'm going to try to get through the presentation somewhat quickly because I think from hosting a lot of these in the past, the best thing for people is the hands-on learning. So I'm actually going to take you into my Facebook group after, and maybe Christina's, and talk to you about the yays and nays of posting, why some things are going viral, why some are not, and hopefully give you guys some great tips. So another quick background story. I started the Boston, Massachusetts Facebook group along with someone who lived in Brooklyn, very random, but we partnered up and we actually grew that to 500,000 people and sold it to one of the biggest media companies in Boston. So I'm going to actually, Kate, let you admit everyone, and I'm not going to worry about that anymore. So anyways, so many benefits to Facebook groups. I don't need to get too into it. Let's see. Okay, I just clicked my screen to go next. I'm not tech savvy. That's one thing Christina has that I don't have going for me. But I'm going to move us. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just minimize this a little bit so you can see my screen. So I feel like I don't need to talk people into this. You're here, you're in our groups, you're probably spending time in Facebook groups, but just an additional reminder, Facebook group is doubling down, tripling down on Facebook communities. It's the best place to be on Facebook. That's definitely their winning aspect of all of the things that they put out there in the world. You know, we know some Facebook pages are dying, and even our, personal pages sometimes aren't doing as well, but Facebook groups are the place to be. Christina was actually, and her Facebook group was in one of the commercials I saw, which was really exciting, and they're doing a lot to promote it. So organically, both of our groups are growing. I mean, hers is probably growing by thousands a day. Ours grows by hundreds a day. So just when you think that you've posted and introduced yourself, it's time to do it just, again and again, because there's so many new people and new potential customers joining our communities every day. So this is like a fun little thing that I've done that I feel like has attributed to a lot of my success. And something I want to mention is my lip balm company. It's a very competitive market. We're the only small brand on most of the large retail, especially the drugstore shelves. So in Walgreens, we have 5 flavors. We've been competing successfully there for 5 years. You'd be very surprised that we have a little to nothing marketing budget because I post in Christina's group, I post in other groups, and I use that to reach millions and millions of women in our target demographic. And that alone has helped us stay competitive and to stay on shelves. So that is a testament to how powerful showing up in Facebook groups are when you do it properly. And Christina, feel free to chime in as I go through this if you have anything, that you want to add as I'm going along.
Well, I think, I just want to ask everybody, how many of you right now have a Facebook group? If you have a Facebook group, just drop it in the comments. And if you don't have a Facebook group, I want to know why you don't have a Facebook group. Because Facebook groups are the greatest lead generation tool organically that you can have. I've built a list to over 250,000 email addresses organically from from the Facebook group. And, it's just such a powerful tool that I see so many people overlooking and not using. So I'm really curious to see how many of you are growing them. And one thing I just we want to talk about too is the myth that you need to have giant groups like my group or like Christina's group. You can be extremely successful with smaller Facebook groups as well. So we want to show you, how you can, monetize and use your Facebook groups to get more leads, more customers, more sales, using and some of the techniques Christina's going to share with you that, makes her Facebook famous. So I'll let you take it away, Christina.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think, as you'll learn as I'm teaching, I'm an open book, right? Personally and professionally, what's going on in my life. And I think the beauty of Facebook groups is you're not communicating with a business page. You're communicating with business owners and entrepreneurs who have a service to sell at the end of the day. But it's really that human interaction. So when you start to have fun with it and really put yourself out there and truly make, personal connections, like you meet someone in, Texas and you end up flying together and going to, a conference or summit together. Like there's so many, some of my best friends have come out of Facebook communities. So it's so much more than even what we're sharing with you today. But one thing I want to say, and this goes for any type of business you have, whether you're starting out or you're 10 years in business, the way that I start my day, and that's what I was saying, I think it contributes to a lot of my success is, most entrepreneurs have ADHD and have a lot going on. And, I am a mom. I have 2 other businesses. The way I start my day is by playing a little game. How many people can I reach that day? Even if I'm just sharing, like, this is the book I'm reading right now, or, I'm launching this and I would love for you guys to check it out. How many people can that reach? So the first thing I'm going to do is post in Christina's group. That's the largest group. I'm going to post in, several lists of other Facebook groups that my target demographic is playing in, is talking in, is hanging out in. So if you do that, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 groups a day, you are marketing your business probably more than, even competitors who have larger ads than you, because posting in Facebook groups are more effective than ads. We've seen it time and time again. So, another thing I always say in all my courses and all of my, master classes, take notes. We're all busy people. If there is a few ahas or things that you should take action on, please write them down and then actually take action on them in your business. Because if you're like me, if you don't write it down, it's gone. It's gone by 5 o'clock when I'm trying to figure out what to make everyone for dinner. So the other part of it, a really important part of it is people do business who they like, know, and trust. And I think Facebook groups are the best place to build that like, know, and trust. It's so much more personable than even Instagram or TikTok. I think the conversations in that section, like, things go a lot deeper than you see on other social media. They're private groups, right? So they are going through some sort of admin process. People are looking to make sure there's not, bots or men just looking to meet single women, that sort of thing. So it really, like, showing up in these online, safe private communities for women is like more important than ever. And I don't know if you have anything to add on that, Christina, but I feel like that's been, yeah.
Definitely. See, like the whole concept of Facebook groups is okay. And this is why you want your Facebook group to solve a problem or be for a specific niche. The more niche down, the better. So, when you have an issue, or you want to find some information. Now, a lot of times you're going to go into Facebook and you're going to put in the search bar, you need an entrepreneur community for women. You're going to find my group, you'll find Christina's group. So say if you live in Boston, you're going to find Christina's group, right? But let's say you have another sort of problem that you want to fix, or you want to find something, you want to be in a community with like-minded people who are like you. Say you love a particular breed of dog, for example. I want to give you a quick example of how powerful not only posting in Facebook groups is, but commenting and engaging. And this is one step I think so many people overlook. They'll do the posts, but they won't get active in the comments. So for example, my daughter has a product for golden retrievers. And can you guys still hear me? I think I'm getting an echo. So she's got a product for golden retriever dogs. So she's in many golden retriever groups. Now, these groups don't allow promotions. She can't post about her product. But what she does is she'll go in there and she will get involved in conversations. I think we have an echo somewhere. Maybe somebody's not muted, but she'll get involved in conversations in the comments. Somebody will say, my dog Golden has arthritis and I don't know what to do, or my Golden has this. And she'll start a conversation in that using, like, she'll go into her group, put the keyword in for like health issues for golden retrievers or whatever it is that people are talking about. And then she will start, just conversing with the person, not trying to sell, conversing. So, well, have you tried this? Or what is, the issue with this? And she's made sales just from the comments in these groups, because she'll say, okay, let's talk, she could say, let's talk about this on the DM, or right there in it, she'll say, well, I do have a product, and people will buy her product right from the comments. So there's two sides of it. There's the posting side, which is great, but there's also the other side of it is where, you want to engage. You don't want to just go to groups and just drop posts and leave. You really have to, like Christina said, have the know, like, and trust factor and position yourself as an authority in your niche. And that's really, really important because you're building relationships. So when you're using Facebook groups, you got to keep that in mind. It's not just like, doing a Facebook ad and dropping an ad and, not going back. This is something you do. People want to know and trust you before they're going to take their credit cards out. And that goes for your own group as well. A lot of you, I saw in the comments here, I have a group, it's small, I don't know how to, grow it, or should I have a group? Every niche can have a group because there's people, whatever product service you're selling is going to have an audience for that. So you're going to want to create a group for that, but you're going to want to make the group about the people and the members and let them talk. I mean, we're not talking promotions now, we're talking about engagement posts. You want to ask them, questions, let them voice their opinions, let them post value posts to get conversations going. So don't make it like all about you and your business, make it about the members, and then you're the authority. And then when you do offer them something, they're going to want to trust you, and then they'll be more ready to buy from you.
Yes, absolutely. You hit on so many great points and so many things I want to bring up that I will hopefully get to later. This could easily be like a day-long workshop. Absolutely. But the way and like I said, you have to have fun with it because, how do I say this? I've hired some like really great social media managers, but I find that when it's such when you don't let the magic come into it, or just, when that inspiration hits, even if you're in bed at 10 o'clock at night and you want to share something with the world or inspire someone or share your gifts, there's like a little bit of magic to it, and it has to be fun for you to show up and do it. So if posting, several times a week is too much, just start with one. But like Christina said, one big no-no is I see people on my newsfeed sharing the same exact post and same exact picture, and they're just blasting it out to all the groups that they are supposed to be posting in. And anyone who sees that in their newsfeed, they're just going to say, oh, that's just part of their marketing, I'm just going to skip over it. So it really, and that goes for like sharing, a post inside of someone's group or your own Facebook group that's shared from a Facebook page or shared from another post. It kind of looks a little bit lazy, like, oh, they're not speaking directly to me or that audience, they're just repurposing content. So that's why it's important to show up authentically and with, putting some thought behind it. But the way I have always taught about how to show up in Facebook groups and how I've built my own Facebook groups is and again, it's much easier than you think. I basically say, pretend you're at a virtual cocktail party, or networking event. Like, think in your head, like, would you just walk into that room? Would you stand into the middle of it and say, I'm Christina Saporis and I sell lip balm and who wants to buy it? And blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't do that. And Facebook groups are really the same exact way. It's just virtually. So you want to softly introduce yourself. You want to give, you want to inspire, you want to lift people up. You want to put your, best self forward. AKA, would you show up in sweatpants? Or would you dress your best if you're going to an event? So what type of images are you putting out there? You don't need a professional photographer, but if you're putting a blurry image out there, which we'll get into, that is 100% not going to perform well. How would you introduce yourself? What's things that people, don't necessarily know about you? I think behind the scenes, who made you the entrepreneur that you are today? Why do you even want to be an entrepreneur? Where did you start your career? Things that people can relate to and easily have a, natural back and forth conversation. And just jump in, Christina, because we're both Greek, so we talk a lot. So yeah, just go with it.
No, it's so true. What you said is just, to treat it like that is not treating it psychologically that, oh my gosh, like I'm going in Facebook groups because I want to promote and I want to sell, and, going in then realize these are really like it's yourself. These are real human beings. These are real women that have feelings and nobody wants to be sold to, right? And that's going to take attention away from your posts. Like Christina said, if you're just blasting things out, that look the same and they're very spammy type promotional posts. I have some pet peeves with things when I hate the bait and switch type posts where it's like somebody's putting out something, oh, well, tell me about your business, but then they're trying to get you to a lead magnet. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't think anybody does. Be authentic. Really, you need to be authentic. Be genuine. There's absolutely no problem with trying to get people into your funnels, into your groups and doing all that stuff, but you want to be authentic about it. You don't want to have any of that trickery because people don't like that. So if you approach it, like Christina said, that you're actually in virtual cocktail parties with people and you're genuine and that comes across, that's a winning combination.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think when you do that kind of bait and switch, like with every post, with every interaction, you're either building trust or you're breaking it. So even if you spend all that time doing all that kind of, sleazy sales type, I would, call it, no, those people aren't going to buy from you. Even if you did collect 100 emails, it's much better to engage with 5 people deeply, authentically, and translate one or two of them into a customer. I think that's a really, really good point.
It's the vanity metrics, so it's different if you say I have, XYZ and I'm going to, give it to you for free. And people say, yeah, I want it. Then of course they want it. You're giving them the lead magnet, but it's different if you try to, like you said, just, breaking that trust by acting like you're their friend or DMing them like your friend and then just going in for a sale. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. And I think going back to basics, but obviously I have 16 Facebook groups, so I see a lot going on, and I've been doing this for, I guess, over 8 years now. And I see a lot of really, really basic things going wrong. So what I want to give you today is a few quick tips that really will change the game. And again, you don't have to overcomplicate it. So this is kind of like the anatomy of what makes up a perfect post. So Christina and I were talking about this too last week when we're, talking about what to present today. You have to hook people right away. That, well, we all, with TikTok and these, quick Instagram stories, which I'm at the age group where I'm I can't even handle that, the fast movement of those, images and spiraling down, getting looped into any of them. But anyways, what I'm saying is people have shorter attention spans more than ever before. If you imagine just scrolling through your news feed, you have probably a few seconds to grab that person's attention. So right at the top of that post, I usually write in all caps. Some people don't like it. You obviously have to find what's true to your brand and what works for you and test out a few things. But I like to call in my target demographic right at the top. So say if I was a productivity coach, I could start off like 10 ways to make the most out of your mornings, or, how to be 10% more productive before 10 a.m., something like that, where you're attracting that person in right away, right off the bat. And it's a very clear, catchy, fun, intriguing title that alludes to the fact that you're about to teach something about this, that you're an expert in this. Or like, 10 tips to fight the winter blues. Maybe if I was a psychologist, I would do something like that. Or, where my single mamas at? If you're, the Boston real estate market and the pandemic, like my yearly forecasting for, 2024, why you should read this. So I think that helps to bring in the right people to your post right away. And then this is like, to me, this is like the biggest thing. Use proper spacing in paragraphs. I feel like I've read some posts that you could tell people put thought into. You could tell it was written well, but they probably got like 90% less engagement on that post and less people reading it because it just came out as one blob. And like I said, people need it to be easy and simple. So breaking it out with proper spacing, with that magazine type article or hook, using emojis, a really cute, fun photo or GIF. You've got to make it fun and digestible for people to read your posts. I think those are two big ones that I see. I don't know, Christine, if there's anything in your group or things that you kind of see people doing wrong often.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you brought that up because we have a Standout Online member, and she had made a post on the colored background, and she got huge and get like 100 plus comments on it, right? Well, about a month later, she did the same exact post and had very little engagement in it. So I looked at both of them. At first, I didn't know they were the same exact copy. And then I looked and I said, oh my God, these have the same exact copy. What went wrong on the second one? And it was a line break, a space. The first one just had a space, so it was easier to read and got tons of engagement. And the second one was all one and didn't. So we're finding, like, definitely in the Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs group, that the posts that are on the color backgrounds that are short, to the point, like you said, a hook. And when I like to do is too, like you were giving great examples here, like 10 ways to make the most of your mornings, that kind of thing. When you put in something that, if you're scrolling on, on your phone and you're looking at the news, like there's like sites like BuzzFeed or these hooks that they have, like the 7 cleaning products you must have that will change the way you clean forever. I'm just making that up off the top of my head. Like
Right.
things like that. This product, this whatever can change your life or whatever. Like those type of things, I always fall. I'm a sucker for them. I'm like, oh my God, what are the cleaning products? Oh, I need them. Like it's like, or what is this? Or, and so like when so a great thing I like to do is keep a swipe file when you're just scrolling on the internet. If anything grabs your attention like that, and you're like, what? Wait, I got to click on it. Take a screenshot, put it into a swipe file, because you can then use that as a formula. And also when you go into Facebook groups, right, see what are the posts that have the most engagement on it? How did they format it? Now, we see traditionally that short form color background posts work a lot better. But if you're going to do a long form post and you're going to have a picture and stuff too, like Christina said, the hook has to be the very first thing. If you don't hook them in, they're going to keep scrolling. So if you want to tell a story and the meat of the story is at the bottom, nobody's going to get to the bottom. You've got to be dramatic. It's got to be high drama. Boom. Like catching, like, wait, stop the scroll. You want to stop it there. And then you could tell your long story. You could have a very successful post. But the mistake people make, I see all the time, is they're, going right for the sale, and putting links and comment into the post and not in the comments, and not getting to the point and just missing that. It's the way we are, like you said, right now, we're so distracted. People are, a million things are popping up, notifications, text messages, phone calls are coming in. They're not going to take the time unless you really get their attention and get their interest.
Yes. Absolutely. And a big one, and Christina just mentioned the colored posts background. Those typically, they perform really well in my groups too. But when you are using, and this is so funny because, I work with a lot of photographers and, there's so many women in my groups and, coaching things that I do on the side. So many people are posting even beautiful high res images, but they're using it horizontally. And when you look at these two images, ignoring the resolution and, how capturing it is, look how small the other one shows up on my screen. And look how the one on the right is really large. So even when people crop into a square image, think about it like a newspaper. People are paying more for a larger ad because the bigger your image and the more space you're capturing in someone's news feed, the more opportunity you have to catch their eye, to have them read on. So I always, no matter if I'm doing a photo shoot or I'm taking my own, my husband always tries to turn the camera when we're doing a selfie. I'm like, no, vertical only. So it's really important to make sure you're at least, 80% of the time. You might have a great horizontal image you want to use, but I even crop that into a square because it will take up a lot more space. And I think that's just like a very, very simple one that a lot of people miss.
Definitely.
And let's see, just a few, we kind of went through this, the BuzzFeed, the women's magazines, that's a great little like homework assignment is to, go look at what are you reading, what's capturing your attention, save it, screenshots, put it in an organized folder. Same thing goes with like newsletters that you open or anything in business. Make sure you're capturing what spoke to you and learn from that. And how can you bring that into, your business? The color short form posts we went through. So this one I'm guilty of, and I think we're probably all guilty of, but those vertical, not horizontal images, I think of you as an entrepreneur, smiling, happy, behind the scenes. I just posted one in your group last night. That was the I went into Walgreens and I saw my image thank you. And I saw my image on shelves and I took a photo of me with that. And that probably performed the best out of the, posts that I, over the last few months. Sorry, my nanny is saying goodbye to me. Okay. That's part of the live, right? We're going with it. And that's another lesson. Like, you're not going to get it perfect. Continue to put yourself out there anyways. I went to, I don't know if I have any law of attraction, spirit junkies in here, but I went to Gabby Bernstein's event in New York, and she had a whole panel of professional social media influencers, like people who've really, really grown big businesses in this space. And what they said, which I always remember, is delete it, right? If it's embarrassing, if you don't feel good about it, if it's getting no engagement, if you feel like it actually didn't speak to you, just delete it and move on. Like, this is absolutely, we're all playing, we're all learning, we're all growing. Looking at photos that I posted 5 years ago, I'd probably be horrified at what I was wearing or my haircut or something like that. So, we're all in this together. We're all women. We all have like the human condition and all the emotions and fears and imposter syndrome, all the things that go along with it. Just keep putting it out there, keep putting yourself out there, keep trying, and don't overthink it. It's really important, again, to have fun with it. But what I was going to say is the no content rule. I would say if you can stay away from putting content on your photos, I'll give you like a very specific example of this. In Boston Businesswomen, it's for women all over New England, but we have a lot of in-person events. So like local chapter events, etc. When we have our graphic designer make like actual event postings for us that are branded with our logo and have, information on it, rather than me going to Instagram, searching the restaurant that we're hosting our event at, grabbing like a beautiful photo that an influencer took, giving that influencer, proper photo credit for using it. But those perform 500 times better than your kind of branded photo with content on it. And I don't know if you see that similarly in your group, Christina, but that is another big one that, especially when you're selling something, beautiful photos do much better than the content photos.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're going to put content and you just want to make it like on the color background, that's different. But yeah, if you're attaching a photo, then, having something, a really, like you said, branded photo would work really well as well. I see we got a couple of questions here. And I just wanted to address this one here. Someone said, how would I create my own group? Would I title it with my business name or something else? Okay, so that is one of my pet peeves. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is like making your group title, like your course name, your business name, because what happens is if you want to grow a group, right, you want to think about what are the keywords, right, that someone would come to a group to search for. If that's going to solve their problem. So if they're looking for women's entrepreneur support group or whatever it may be, law of attraction group, they're going to put those type of keywords in there. They're not going to put your business name, right? So that's what you want to do. I always tell everybody, if you're starting a group, do some research, go to Facebook, think about your target audience. What would they be putting in that search bar? And then search and see, okay, all the different top groups that come up, and then you'll get an idea of what keywords are working. And then of course you create your own name. So the reason, I think one of the reasons we've grown so large is we have women helping women and then entrepreneurs. So Facebook's little bot things go out and say, okay, this person in another group is in an entrepreneurs group for women. They may like women helping women entrepreneurs. So they're going to recommend. So if you put a name that's, unique to you, you're going to miss out on all that organic new members coming in. So you want to make it very searchable. So don't use your business name. That I would say number one. And then let me just address, there's another question here. Do you recommend running more than one Facebook group? Also, how many groups do you recommend joining? I would say don't make another Facebook group until you've grown and, monetize and use your own Facebook group first. Start with one. And then, you can join groups that are in your niche. I don't think, there's really a limit. I'm in a ton of different groups. And then what do we post on our own page versus other people's pages? So Christina, do you want to answer that one?
Sure. So I would say don't post on pages, post on groups. In my mind, they're dead. We post a few a month just to like keep it alive and well. And people can leave reviews on pages versus groups for your business. So that's, the only thing I would say on that. But I could probably talk all day, about what to post in other groups versus your own group. But I will say, and I've practiced with this, Christina's group and my group are the main, ones that I spend time in and that I kind of use as part of our marketing plan. There's many more out there, but again, entrepreneurship is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you have to enjoy it. You have to stay balanced. You have to be realistic with how much time you want to be spending online and in Facebook groups. So I would probably target like 3 to 5 groups maybe. But realistically, you're probably going to land on 2 to 3 that you see, get great engagement and the ROI is worth it for you to spend time and energy on it. But I think for my group, I think every group, just like any business or any restaurant you walk into, every group is going to have a different vibe, a different kind of, what the norm is. And I will say, as the leader of Boston Businesswomen, I am, part of what I love is happiness and law of attraction. And really like, I go really, really deep on personal development just because that's what my passion is. So if I'm having anxiety or I talk about my ADHD or, I went after something and I failed and that meeting sucked and I cried that day. Like I share it all. I really put it out there so vulnerably because I think that's when we grow the most. And I also think the deeper you can be and the more authentic you can be, it's again, like building that like, know, and trust. People, come up to me on the street in Boston and think that they know me because of, oh, thank you so much. Like, I hope your son is doing well. Like they know so much about me, which is kind of weird at this point. But, you want to affect people deeply. And, you want to be memorable in that way. And like, hopefully something I or Christina mentioned today, like, is going to change your business, even if it's a simple tip or something like that, but maybe you'll start following our Facebook groups. Maybe you'll, be interested in something else we're putting out there because we helped you. So I think that goes into a later slide, but no matter what, and I'm not answering your question, I'm going off on a Christina tangent, but what performs well in my group performs well in Christina's group, obviously, unless it's like Boston specific or, something very specific to our events. But something that goes really well is like, help me celebrate. Like I just saw my product on shelves for the first time, and now I can go, pick it up on in every town across America. That's exciting. And people want to celebrate in your success. People want to lift you up in your failures. I think anything you can share that you've learned in your own company that's gone well for you, or when you're helping someone, that's going to be well received. So like I say, people can feel your energy. So actually, this is exactly what I wanted to go into. So are you looking to give something, or are you looking to get something? I think it's really important to ask yourself that question with every post or like every piece of content that you put out there. So obviously, Christina and I, partnered on this, and I have a course that I'm going to be talking about, but truly, like, I wanted to show up because I want women to win. Like I used to be in the beverage industry. I was in male dominated industries. Like, I want more women to win. I want more women to make money. I want to help each other. I don't want to compete. So like, there's so much that I just want to like show up and give. And I hope that you can feel that today and feel that from Christina as well. It's in the name of her Facebook group, like Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. I think that at the end of the day is what we want to do, and why we should be spending a lot of time in these communities and just like here on earth, right? It's helping each other. Like, there's horrible things going on in the world, the last few weeks, especially. Like, how are you going to show up and support people who you don't know what battle they're fighting, like what's going on in their life? Be kind and just start with the give. I think you will receive, tenfold back what you give out. So people can feel that energy. I think people can feel if you're looking to truly like for instance, we have some women who show up and they have an event to sell. They're stressed out about it because they booked the hotel or they booked the, conference room, and you can just tell like, my event is this date and you should come and blah, 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 blah. Like, it just feels almost like this like nervous energy. And rather, when people come at it more calmly and, truly wanting to inspire, like, I created this conference because I went to a similar conference 3 years ago. I came home with 10 pages of notes, and it literally changed my business. And I want that for you. And I want you to show up because you are going to walk away with this, 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 and this. So it's really all about energy, and if you're looking to give or to get. So I think if that's one thing, if anything that you take away, something to start playing with. And I will say, we're all entrepreneurs. At the end of the day, we all need to pay our bills and make a living. So wanting to get something, wanting to grow your business, wanting to get clients, of course, it's great. It's natural. It's not a negative thing. But what I do as a little rule of thumb is I have to give 4 times before I post a get. So it can be as simple as sharing a book I love, a new app I found, something that I know is going to help other women in that target demographic in that book. In that Facebook group. And then at the end of those 4 posts, when I truly feel like I've helped other people, I've lifted other people up, then I'm going to introduce something that I'm looking to grow or I'm looking for help with. So I think like leveling out that give and get, it might not be the 4 to 5, 4 to 1 ratio. You can find like what works for you, what's comfortable with you. But I think that makes it a lot different, and it just makes it more valuable. And I think you'll feel better about yourself, going to sleep at night. Honestly, like, it just, I've been an entrepreneur for so long now. And I know you just opened up a nonprofit. Like, we're to a point, I think, in our careers where you realize that there's only so much success you can have, especially like I've gone after some big, scary things in life. Now, like it feels even better just to help people and know that I, made someone feel less alone, or, taught someone something in their business that they might have been doing wrong, or, you can help someone double their revenue like that. Anyways, I go off on these heartfelt tangents, but hopefully I'm getting to the point. And then the other quick thing is we have to get to know you first. Like any marketing 101 class, any business school will tell you it takes the average customer 8 to 15 touch points with a person or a brand before even considering a purchase. So that's why the consistency is really, really important. But again, you don't have to write out all this crazy content. Just share a photo of a book you love and say like, this book changed my life, or I'm loving this song right now. You have to add it to your gym playlist. Like it can be really, really simple. I don't know if you had anything to add.
Yeah, no, I love all of that. And I see a question here. Lindsay wrote, for those of us who are just starting out, what do we post? Please provide examples. It wasn't really answered for us newbies who aren't yet selling on a consistent basis. I know you want to maybe show Christina over in the Boston group some examples of what you've been talking about. That would be fantastic.
Well, I love whoever asked that, because here we are with an example posting schedule. So if you're not selling things consistently, or you're just starting out, again, people like to help people. So I would put that out there. Hey guys, I'm a newbie. I just started, my side hustle. I'm still in my 9 to 5, but I can't wait until I can, be like some of you one day and walk out that door and quit that job. Like, tell me about your story. Like what, do you remember the day where you quit your job? Or do engaging, I think, in that way, because there is so much to learn as an entrepreneur, again, personally and professionally. So asking like specific questions, saying you're scared. Like this is my first time posting in a group of this size. I'm so nervous. I hope this is like well received. How did you guys get over your fear of posting? Like anything like that, anything on your mind, really. I mean, for the most part, but telling a personal story, anything relatable, again, being vulnerable, authentic, like maybe putting up a side-by-side photo, like I have a date night tonight, or I have an interview, like which outfit do you like better? Like stuff like that goes a long way. A photo of your dog in your home office, like where are my dog lovers at? Are there any other spiritual entrepreneurs in here? Like what's your favorite meditation lately? Again, like where my single mamas at? I'm going through a divorce now. What's the thing that got you through that first year? Where are my 40 something ladies at? Like, I feel like I'm out here on an island by myself. I know you're here, like would love to get to know you. In any type of like local group, Boston, New England, I keep going to Texas for some reason, the Greek islands, whatever, like talk about the weather, talk about the season. Many of us here in New England are obsessed with fall. So like talking about autumn or fall or anything like that always does really well. I don't know, talking about a time you were like the last time you cried, the last time you were really scared, the last time you went after something and it didn't go well. Anything that will start these like really thoughtful conversations, I think. Again, a tip, a tool, a resource, show how you are an expert and a leader and why they should listen to you. So something that people are probably so sick in my group of hearing about is there is plenty of room at the top. We are like all, perfect, precious souls on earth. You all have a different voice. You all have a different, there could be 5 real estate agents in my group, but they all have like a special secret sauce and a different way that they connect to different people. And I always say like there's people who went to business school and have all the certifications in the world. And then there's another person who dropped out of high school, yet they're posting more or they feel more confident. So I think as women, a lot of us wait for someone to give us permission to like show up or to say, I am a leader in my industry. I am an expert in this, but I am just here to tell you, no one is going to give you that permission. Like, consider this your sign and your permission to like whatever's on your heart, whatever you know, are feeling like you want to show up as and what you want to teach people. But a little disclaimer, that does not go for like trauma informed, you know, certifications and things like that. But anyways, that's just a little tidbit. Humor goes a very, very long way. A local resource, a restaurant, a hidden gem, even if you traveled and stayed at a fabulous hotel, or like you had a great experience that other women might love, something like that. Obviously introduce your company, business, service, product, event. Let's see. Oh, and that's another important thing. The Facebook, I always say F the algorithm, because like it's always changing and it's not fun when you're trying to like work against the algorithm. But when you put a call to action at the end of your post, meaning it's freezing out there in Boston, what are you guys wearing today? Like do a photo dump and show me your outfit. Or like you want to put something at the end of it where you're asking them a question. You're asking for a response, because the more people engage or respond on that post, the more the more people Facebook will show that post to. So I've had some really great posts, but then I forget to put a call to action. And I'm like, oh, people, like tons of people are liking the post, but I forgot to have them engage with me. So asking for that engagement, like a very specific call to action for people to comment and answer something like, here's my favorite book, you know, or this book changed my life. What book changed your life? So always like ending with that question. And yeah, just test. And I don't know if Christina, those were a lot of examples, but maybe you have some fun ones that you like to.
You've covered, you know, and it really some great examples, and it's really about getting that engagement. Like you said, a call to action. People want to be heard. People want to respond. You know, the share the thing on your phone, like, you know, what's like the last picture on your phone or related to somebody. People love that. You know, it's like a post. I think I did a post once, or I've seen people do it. It was like, okay, I'm here, you know, today, this is my coworker, my dog, you know, my dogs, coworker, you know, dog pictures all come up. Like people just love to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So that's you get engagement. Other things you can do to get engagement in a post. So say you make a post, right? You know, it's crickets, whatever, but hopefully in your own group, you're collecting email addresses. I can't stress the importance of that. You've got 3 questions, right? So one of them, you want to ask for an email address. You want to get that into a spreadsheet. There's a million tools you can use out there to automate that process. But you need to get that to build your email list. So one of the things you can do if you're going live or you're doing something in your group is you can, right before you go live, or, you know, an hour before or 30 minutes before, or both, you can say, listen, I'm going to be live over in the group sharing this great strategy. And instead of just giving the link to your Facebook group, now what will happen if you just put the link to your Facebook group, people on their mobile phone are going to go click, and guess what's going to happen? If they're on iPhone, Safari is going to open up and ask them to log in. And how many people has that happened to? And then you're like, screw that, right? I've done it because I'm like, I can't get into the group. I forgot my password. Right? Code thing, right? So this is what you do. There is a site, URL, it's Genie or Genius, that will cloak your link and send your people right over to your Facebook group. It'll log them right in. So it's a URL, and it's GEN. Let me just get you the exact, because it's a little tricky. Yeah, it's URL genie.us. So it's URL GENI.us. It's really inexpensive, but you can cloak your link, then put it in the email, right? So now when you go live or you have a post you want engagement in, alert your list, alert your members to go back into the group and use that so they don't get vented, and then they're like, forget it, I'm not paying attention because I can't log in. So that's a little trick that you guys can use to get more engagement. And really, again, we were touching on this about the, it's really important, the vanity metrics, wanting to get hundreds of comments and likes, and you think you're a failure if you only get 10 likes. Oh gosh, I can't tell you how many members we have, stand online members, who are making a lot of money and getting only a small amount of the right people on their posts, and taking those What they're doing is they're following up with those people. So you can get 500 or 1,000 vanity comments that go nowhere, that aren't your right target market, or you can get 20 fabulous people and sell half of them or a quarter of them, whatever, and make a lot of money. So start thinking more of the quality and not quantity of the people who post on your thing. So what you said was so smart when you're calling out, where are my spiritual women, or where are my Christian women, where are my, new age women, or whatever you're calling out, you're getting the right people to answer. And you might get less in a group on that, but it doesn't matter. You're getting your right people. And that's more powerful than just being so happy that you got all these likes and comments. And then you'd say, well, none of those people bought anything. Well, because it was too general. So really start thinking about that. I know a woman, my friend Pam Peebles, and I just want to tell really quick this story because it's crazy. She had a group of 156 people. Now she has more people in the group. You guys, this is a true story. She literally did a launch to her 156 people, and she made over $220,000. Now think about that. Is that crazy? Now, on the other hand, I've told the story before if you've heard it, but my daughter, who has got the golden retrievers, was on TikTok. She got between all the videos, over 10 million views of her golden retrievers meeting for the first time, the puppy and the older one. And how much did TikTok pay her? $136 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so think about that, 10 million, because it's general. Everybody loves a cute piece, but they're not necessarily owners of golden retrievers who are going to buy her product. See, so you can have the right people in your group or in other people's groups that you go for. You pull those out. You want to get them to your Facebook group. You want to get them to your lead magnet, but look for the right people. Speak their language. Speak the language of your ideal target audience, and don't get hung up on having tons and tons of engagement, but getting the right people to engage. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's just so important.
That's such a good point. And, it kind of ties into the Success Academy, which I'm going to talk about, but you have to reverse engineer that, and I go into in depth on this, but how much money do I want to make and why? How many customers do I need to get there? What price point does that offer need to be at? How am I going to grow my email list? And if I can convert 5% of that list, I'm going to hit my mark. So there's a whole type of reverse engineering to that end goal, knowing that number that you want to hit or have to hit is so important. And I think before you go all in on creating all this content and joining all the groups and signing up for all the things, you do have to kind of have, like you said, that customer journey. Okay, so some of your target, your dream clients connected with you, but what's your follow-up strategy? What are you leading them into? Is it going to DM, but it's on their spam messages, so they never see it? So you have to think about the whole A to Z customer journey, and sales cycle. I think that's really important. And, I guess in Boston Businesswomen, it took off so quickly because we launched with a big conference and celebrity speakers, and we launched our membership program that day. And I'm like, oh shit, what do we do now? So you always have to be thinking about that sales cycle. And, they purchased that offer. Okay, what's next for them? Some of your clients go through this process, they've graduated. So, what are you sending them to next? And maybe it's an affiliation with another person who is a niche in another pain point that comes in, often in their business. So, that's why it's a whole 5-month program, but there's a lot to cover. So I'm pulling back the scenes right now, and you can see all of my tabs here. But before we even, I feel many.
Guilty of a million tabs open. Is it just us because we have the ADHD and we're Greek? I don't know, but we both have that in common. That's my computer. Thank you for showing that, Christina, because exactly. Yeah. A million tabs open at all times. And I want to break the habit, but it's hard.
Well, this is the truth. And let me know on time. What I'd like to do is, have some time for question and answer. Obviously, just take you through a few posts in my Facebook group so you guys can see I think that's the best way to learn, like visually seeing, and I'll talk through what performed well or not and why. And then obviously do our little giveaway. So I wanted to introduce you to, obviously, some of you are meeting me for the first time, but I only do, because I'm a very busy entrepreneur, I only do one course a year. And that one, this is our third year in the row, is called the Success Academy. And it's all about growing to six figures and beyond. So I'll just take you into, and Kate will drop the link in the chat section of the, sales page to sign up. But we just opened the doors today. We're doing a pre-sale for Christina's audience this week only. So I've never done this before, but we did launch a 12-month payment plan. So you can get into this for as little as $97 a month. So it used to be, pay in full only. But what I noticed is there's a lot of women who join my course who are really starting out. They don't even know how to trademark or protect themselves, or, legally what to do with their business, tax wise, like there's so many things. So every year I keep adding more and more modules to it. So I think we're now up to 12 modules, but in a nutshell, this is what I'm going to cover for you. And I spent 2 years creating it before I even launched it, because the amount of wisdom and hard lessons and contacts and, tools and tips and kind of the secrets to my success, what's worked, what hasn't, I put it all into this course. So the most important thing we're going to cover is automations. So really smart growth, not hard growth. So the revenue, the healthy business foundation, like I said, one of my businesses grew really fast. We didn't have that stable foundation, and those things that are so important, that if you do have that overnight success, or you do have something that goes well, you're going to be able to support that growth and not have to pull your hair out. The back to business basics, I think it's over an hour on just everything that all of the pain points from previous students were talking about or had questions on. I went back and covered that all. So again, some people just make really simple mistakes or big mistakes and expensive mistakes in the very beginning. So we cover all of that. Operations organization. This is probably one of the most important modules, and what I've spent over $100,000 trying to learn and working with OBMs and professional organizers. And we finally, for my size business, which is 9 people, but I even go through, if you're only 1, 2, 3 people on your team, every single thing that you need, from Google Drive to, project management tools, ways to, just a lot of the secrets to the trade that you're not going to know unless you're 10 years in. So I'm really proud of that one. And I think it's important. And if you've been listening for the last half an hour, you probably know I'm very into mental health, tackling stress and overwhelm, overcoming your fears, really showing up as the woman and entrepreneur that you want to be, how to successfully show up online and go viral. So kind of what Christina and I are doing today, but a much deeper dive into that. Email marketing and customer nurturing, sales and marketing, mastery tips, tools, and secrets to success. There's tons of them that I've learned over the years. Building a successful brand ambassador and affiliate program. And then module 9 is probably the most exciting to people. And I always say, and hopefully there's no publicist on this. Unless you're a very, very big company, you should not be spending 5, 10, 20 grand on public relations a month, which is what I did in the beginning when I was building my consumer goods brands. There is a method that I have learned and figured out that will cost you probably $100 a month or less, that will get you national press. I've perfected it. This could probably be its own course, but I've watched people in my academy over the last 2 years get on Bravo, Inc., featured in Forbes. All of this they're doing on their own and with their internal team with no publicists. And then this isn't for everyone, but it's just a bonus module on how to raise money and find investors. I actually give you access to a list of over, I think, 5,000 active investors who want to invest in female entrepreneurs. That one is specific to America. But you're going to get tons of documents, resources. Like I put my everything into this course and love it. So feel free to click that link, check it out. There's tons of different like payment plans and options. I did open up a mastermind to it as well this year for the first time ever. You can read success stories like straight from, what clients who've gone through it have shared with me. So I won't get too much more into that. And I'm just going to go. Oh, go ahead.
Over that. I just want to tell everybody, like, Christina is absolutely amazing. I've known her for many, many years. I mean, like, the fact that she has got products in JetBlue, Walgreens, like, it just blows my mind with her brain power as far as being like startups. And that's something like, I don't come from that background. Like, I'm online marketing, and she's did the business part, with the publicity and everything too. And so that's why you're in really good hands. I just wanted to say that because I'm always so impressed with you. And you had shared with me, I mean, gosh, it was 2020. And you told me that amazing super stealth way in my group should I share it? Like, of how you can, like, if you have a paid group, of how you can get more members. So
absolutely.
Okay, so she told me, and I would never have thought of this in a million years, and I give her 100% credit for this, and this has resulted in a ton of sales for us, is so when you have a Facebook group, and I know somebody asked some of the questions here, they were like, okay, I have a Facebook group, but like, when do I make it paid, and and this and that. So if you have one of a group and you're making paid promotions, so obviously members can't promote unless they are a member, right? So when you have post approval and they're, coming up and they don't realize that they can't pay, you have your moderators who are in your group, right? And a lot of them are not paid. So how do you incentivize them? You give them an affiliate link. So they now can go and tell the person when they decline the post very nicely, well, listen, in order to post that, you do have to be a paid member. Here's the link, but they're giving their affiliate link. So now you're getting free moderation. You don't have to pay these people, and they're making money. We have moderators who are making a lot of money doing this, and it's like brilliant. So I just want to give you credit for that. And I think if you're at that level where you do have a group where you have the paid wall, it's a phenomenal strategy, and it's super stealth. And this is just how her mind thinks. So if you want more of that kind of crazy mind stuff, Christina's your person. She's your girl.
Thank you. Yeah. I love sharing, and I don't like to gatekeep. Like, I saw a way Christina could be making a lot more money. So I'm like, here, take it all. This is what's worked for my company. So the cool thing about my courses is you get free lifetime access, and everything that I learn along my way, or new things that I've tried out that worked successfully for us, I'll just create a new module and share it all. We also, of course, have a Facebook group for the course. So it's a private group. I think there's 140 or so women in it now. These are really awesome, stellar, high achieving, really quality women and female entrepreneurs that some of them are still meeting up today at coffee shops and hanging out and supporting each other. So joining those type of courses, like, you also get access to that really, really awesome community. So thank you for saying that. And I'm glad you guys are using it.
Christina, do you, so we have Mama Donna asked, what about grant writing and access? Do you cover any grant type of stuff?
That is something that I don't do and that I've never done. And I would say grant writing is such a specific skill set. One thing I do cover in the Success Academy is how to find experts, how to grow your team. That's probably the biggest headache when scaling a business, is how to find the right people to help you grow, right? So I cover all of that, how to keep them accountable, where to find them. So what I'll tell you today is I find the most amazing people on Upwork.com. You can just type in grant writing. You can say how much you're willing to pay them hourly, exactly the project you're looking for, and hire that person to do it. What we talk about in the Academy a lot is, you as the owner of your company, you should be focused on revenue growth. But if you figure out how much you want to make, then go back into what your hourly rate should be. You are probably not the person who should be writing the grants. You should delegate that out, find an expert who can do that, no problem. They don't have to learn the whole process for you. That's really how you grow quicker. So those are, some of the secrets that we cover in the Academy, but definitely check out Upwork. There used to be something called Fiverr, and I think someone purchased them. They might still be under that name, but
Fiverr's still there.
okay. Yeah. So Fiverr's check Upwork is maybe a little more, I don't know. Their platform looks a little more boring, but I tend to find really, really great contractors and team members from there. And then the other thing is like, don't overpay and don't, overhire, test people out first, give them, projects. But anyways, we cover all of that. So this is oh, go ahead.
Sorry, because I see that Kate just put in, so there's $300 off today when you join the Success Academy, or she just put something about that in there. I didn't see you mention that.
Yes, sorry, I did not mention that. So we're on pre-sale. I haven't even opened, you guys like are getting the secret insider info. I'm not even opening up the Academy to my own communities until next week. This week is all about Christina's group. So what we're doing is offering like a pre-sale. I think it's like for the next 5 days, you'll get $300 off the price. So that should go into every payment plan option as well. So there's a pay in full, a 6-month, and a 12-month. Normally the 12-month payment plan should come to $197 a month, but I'm giving it to you today for $97 a month. So again, I've never, like, this course should be like $5,000, $10,000, but that's not who I am. Like, I don't feel comfortable charging that. I know that women are just starting out their businesses, and I know like the value is there for sure, but I want to make it reasonable. And I opened it up to the 12 months because I want everyone to get in. So yeah, my gift to you, and because I love Christina's community, is an additional $300 off what it would normally be. Thank you for mentioning that, Kate.
More question here. Okay, not sure why my question is showing up. How do you know when to monetize your group? Do you want to answer that, Christina?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it would be very, very specific and kind of what I just touched on previously. Do you have that plan in place, that customer journey from A to Z? Have you built the business foundation that can support clients? There's nothing worse than like over offering, under delivering, not being ready to, take on clients. So that's probably the first thing I would think about. And the second is, I'll give you a specific example. Someone was in my academy. She started a Facebook group. She messaged me freaking out. She's like, Christina, I have 3,000 members in just a few months. They're asking how to pay for membership. They're asking how to, do this and this. And I'm like, look, that's like really exciting to hear. So I like gave her all of the modules that I was going to release later on. And I'm like, you just deep dive into all this. So she worked really quickly to set it all up, and she launched a month later. But again, it's like, how much time we do all of these processes in the academy too. Like, realistically, how much time do you have in your day? What season are you in your life? Are you a mom? Do you have full-time care? Are your kids in school? People will be surprised why they're feeling so overwhelmed and stressed out in life. But then they realize, oh, I actually only have like 2 hours a day to implement all this. So that's when we start to make those decisions of, who do I need on my team? What's going to get me to that end goal? What is my realistic schedule? And again, like, I'm all about having fun. Like, the journey is everything, right? When that journey's over, we're gone. So that's really important as well.
Really. So there's one other question I missed here, and I think I know the answer is, she says, I was featured on my local TV station twice, only got one customer response. What did I do wrong? Well, I'll tell you something just about publicity. Publicity, I think, and Kristen, I don't know if you agree for this, it's, it is for your brand. It is for your credibility. It positions you as an authority and a leader, and trust factor. So directly selling from, if you're appearing on a local TV station, right, you're not really selling on that, right? They're doing your story. So I wouldn't expect a ton of sales. I was on years ago on Fox on the Mike and Juliet show, millions of people. That was a big morning show back in 2007. It's no longer on. And for my book, 7 Secrets to Successful Divorce, but they did a segment on children and divorce, and they showed my book quickly. I thought I was going to get 1 million sales, got some sales, but it was not a lot of sales. But what I got from that was a lot of recognition. I got to use their logo. I still have that logo today. It was amazing. I have the video clip. It's like so valuable. So PR is amazingly valuable for your brand long run. But I wouldn't say it's not like a sales pitch when you're going to go on TV. So would you agree, Christina? That's probably, it's your intention for getting PR. PR is extremely important and you want it, but it's not like the direct sales tool.
Yes, I think to some capacity, I think it definitely matters what you're selling, what your niche is. Like for instance,
e-commerce, it's different, right? Yeah, I'm thinking more of it, right? Like you're showing the lip balm, people will go run and buy it. Or if you're on yeah, I'm thinking more like if you're, like in the, an author or in that type of space. You're right. It does depend. Absolutely.
I think for like the Boston Globe did an article on our lip balm and they talked about like a local store and the owners called me freaking out. Like, you better get over here with like a truckload of your lip balm. We have a line out the door. Like, we were so excited. It was a huge deal. But then sometimes you're featured in Glamour, like in print, and, you can't see a spike in sales because of that. Like I've seen bigger spikes in sales from posting in your Facebook group. But again, when people are searching my brand or searching my name, that Glamour article is still going to show up. It's still going to become part of like your overall reputation as an entrepreneur. So you can be smart about how to use that PR to your benefit. Like Christina said, it should live on your sales page. It should be on your LinkedIn. You should be sharing it everywhere. Like a part of that, build that like, know, and trust factor. That is building that trust factor with you even having to talk to that person. They say, okay, Forbes is writing about her. I'm going to listen to what this woman has to say. So I think there's so many benefits and there's many different angles and pitches and, ways to go about building your press release and how to pitch editors. There's things to, I'm getting into a lot of the academy stuff, but like there's ways to make sure your live link is going into their, if you're in print, you want to make sure it also gets put on .com so that it actually does help, your searchability. There's tons more readers online today than in print. So who are you pitching? Like there's so much that goes into it. But again, it can be like a really fun game to play with. And we hired like the best publicist in Boston. And when we let go of them, because we just weren't getting that much and we took it in-house, we got like 3 times the amount of press. And I was shocked. I think editors also like to hear from the founder versus, an editor that's pitching them every day on hundreds of things. So yeah, there's that again, could be its own course, but a lot of fun. And it's gone a long way for us. So yeah, for every business, even for Boston Businesswomen, someone did a feature on us. I think it was a local news station, and we got probably thousands of new people joining the group that day because they saw it on TV. So anyways, yeah, so much to say about that, but I want to be thoughtful on time. So my group is Boston Businesswomen, a community for women in New England. I will say anyone on the call, you're welcome to join us. In this group are really awesome women, really smart women, a lot of really successful women. You can learn a lot here. Like we'll let you in no matter where you're from, as long as you fill out the questions and don't look like a bot trying to join us. But I just want to go through, and I already mentioned this today, F the algorithm. I really, really believe in that. And she's a great artist. If you check her out on Instagram, I feel like all female entrepreneurs can relate to the things that she seeing today. I was like, wish me luck. I'm presenting to all these women in this huge Facebook group. I'm nervous. So I'm going to just pull out a few that went well and why. So she went right into it. And this is Julie. Like we all know her well. She posts a lot. I have a 4-hour interview tomorrow for a gig I really want. There's 120 plus applicants. Please say a prayer for me. And like, what a fun little photo. And see, she probably took my class. It's not horizontal. It's vertical. It's taking up a lot of real estate as I scroll by it. I'm going to stop. I'm curious, like, why did she post this photo? It made me read it. So that's going well. In search of, those are so. It was only posted 2 hours ago. So the other thing is the Facebook algorithm. I'm noticing that, and it's changing all the time. That's why F the algorithm, like just keep doing what you're doing and try things out. I'm noticing that posts from a few weeks ago are like getting a lot of traction now. So I feel like something changed very recently where even if someone's engaging, from a year ago, it's still going to, anyways, I'm not going to get into we don't have enough time to try to figure out the algorithm, but here's what I was telling you, calling all women-owned shops, restaurants, and vendors for our holiday fair. We're doing a fun little shopping crawl on Small Business Saturday. There's an application to fill out. So that one post probably grew our email list about 500 posts. And we know they're all, business owners. And we're going to go through that list and select a few and give them a great opportunity and tons of exposure that holiday season. But this is like a good example of a thoughtful way to build your email list, but also to give and, kind of do it in a more wholesome way. You've got my little emojis. And again, like I just went on, actually, this was my photo from last year, but if I didn't have a photo like this of like downtown Boston celebrated for Christmas, I would go on Instagram and, search Boston holiday or Christmas in Boston. And I would just put that little photo emoji and say, photo by so-and-so. And that reached 10,000 people, which is pretty good for the size of our group.
That's great. For 42,000. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we got some really awesome engagement, which is very cool to see. So I'm going to just show you something that had 56 comments. So that posted really well. Sometimes you don't even need a photo. Anyone focusing on moms as their primary audience. So people might be curious, like, oh, maybe she has something. This is the woman who owns Carly app, which I don't know. Do you still use that in your group, Christina?
Actually, I don't. You still use Carly because there's been so many other stuff that's come up. It's a whole nother conversation. There's a lot of different. It's a good app. There's just a lot of different apps now that you can use that will do amazing things within your group that we can have a whole other conversation for.
Yeah, absolutely. But check, we'll put that in the academy and give you a bunch of. That is like a game changer for Facebook groups. Gift tips. So she used it's funny because I can tell a lot of people used some of my tips, but she used gift off holiday. So to me that like looks a little salesy and it's a little too generic. Like, what is a gift tip? Maybe like, are you overwhelmed with what to get your friends this year, or like, oh, another holiday season, no ideas yet for gifting, something maybe a little more specific. But I do like the way she used the spacing and the what's it called? Boldness. And then this is another little tip. We call our members the inner circle members. So they post ICM at the bottom of their photos. It's good for our, gatekeepers, our moderators to know that they are in fact a member. And it also makes people curious, what is an ICM? So that also helps grow our memberships. And I know Christina's Standout Online membership, people write SOM at the bottom of that. And I'll just go through a few more. This is the Please Celebrate With Me post that I was sharing. Please celebrate with me, or I'm nervous, please say a prayer for me, like stuff like that. Women want to help each other. So those all, tend to go really well. That was, 5.5, 340 likes, 82 comments. That was pretty good. Usually anything with dogs or puppies do pretty well. But again, like I would have bolded this. I would have put it in all caps. I would have put it in its own section and like make it a little more digestible for people to read through. And it did okay, but not, 14 comments is not horrible, but it could have been better, I think. I'm so excited for our team and so grateful for this supportive group, I would have put a little more, I mean, you can tell she won an award, but like, okay, so she shared this from, to me, like, you won an award, we want to celebrate you. This could have done a lot better, but she shared this from her business page. And this is like a post she already did for her own community. So if she, instead of sharing it into our group, just posted, did an original photo more specific to our group, I bet that would have gone up to like 5,000. So hopefully that, so again, this is that like Canva, content over the image, like these just don't do that well ever. She has like nice spacing here and emojis, but I think definitely if she had chosen a different photo, this would have done much, much better. So hopefully this helps explain kind of what I'm getting at. So this is going to be my last tip, because I feel like I'm going to talk way over our time and I want to be mindful of everyone's busy lives and get to our winner. But this woman is fabulous and she posts really amazing, thoughtful things, but she did this one photo shoot and she uses it consistently. So in the very beginning, when it was like a new image that none of us had seen before, it performed really well. And it still did okay, but I see it trending down a little bit. And you want to be relatable, like take a selfie on your iPhone, or like, again, behind the scenes at your office. It does not have to be professional photos to go well. I think things with many, many different photos, they do okay, because this is still, taking up a decent amount of real estate. But one image does a lot better than multiple images that people have to click through. So hopefully that gives you like a little bit of insight. I think you can also, go to my group, go to Christina's group, or, groups that you love and check it out, see what's performing well and why. Again, it could be like a little different, per group. But that's that. Before I pick our winner, do you have anything you wanted to add, Christina, or are there any other burning questions that we can maybe?
Well, I do think that one other tip is using the H1, H2 tags when you're doing your post, so that your text is like, like bigger and bolder, yes, or in certain sections of it. That definitely gets a lot of attention too. So that's another thing that you can add. So let me see here if we have any other questions here. We think we do. Okay, I asked my question twice, didn't get an answer. Let me go back. Let me see what your question might have been.
Just said, what is font? Which font?
It was okay. That she's asking question 1. I posted an event only and had 33 people signed up, and only one person showed up to my Zoom. Okay, so Shushan, what you can do if that happens, okay, usually whenever you're going to have a Zoom or a live event, you could count on 20 to 30% actually showing up. So 33 people, what would be 20% of them? I'm terrible with math. You should have had a couple more people. Were you doing a follow-up sequence? Were you doing an email and a text message 24 hours before, an hour before, 10 minutes before? That really, really helps to remind people, because people will forget. So make sure you put those in your sequence. Her question 2 is, if I invite people to join my Facebook group for free promotions and later charge for promotions, how will that affect my group? I would just be careful when you're doing free promotional groups. The reason why we have a paid wall behind them is because they become very spammy when you just allow people all the time. You could do a day, like Tuesdays is free promotional day under a post is always better. But I would start from the beginning. I personally would not allow it unless you do something like that, because then it becomes like overwhelmingly people posting all over the place. So, when you have a paid wall, it's going to minimize. Like if we have 1,000 standout online members, we have 700, almost 90,000, almost 800,000 people. That's a very, very, very tiny percentage. But right, a lot of people think, oh, you got so many because their posts are at the top, and just because they know how to post, right? But that is the thing. So you don't want to like overwhelm, because groups can get ruined, I believe, right, Christina, when you have a free-for-all. Everybody posts for free. Come to my group, post for free. then it's the group can easily have no value. And so I would just, if you want to do that, decide what lane you're going in. I would say just put it under like Wednesdays is promotional day, or limit it to just that day, or under the comments. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Esther says, make sure to use your TV interview and all your publicity as content for your original organic content, emails, ads. Yes, very smart. Use any publicity and put that into your emails and your ads. Super, super smart. Let's see if we've got anything else here. Just leading off, again, we put the link in here. It's $300 off. Christina is offering an amazing deal. I hope you guys do take advantage for that. And then Lindsay says, in addition to posts and engaging in other groups where our potential clients may be, what if we have a business page? What should we be posting on our business page? Is it okay to post our favorite things, books there? Yes, you can. Your business page should be attached to your Facebook group. So make your business page an admin in your Facebook group. There's a lot of reasons for this, because you can connect your Facebook group, your page, excuse me, you can invite members who like your page. Facebook will invite them to your group on autopilot. There's a setting for that. And that's really important. And there's we can go more depth, but there's another really great reason. If your Facebook page is an admin, you can post as your Facebook page, and then you can ask people to direct message you over to your Facebook page and start like an automated conversation using ManyChat or another tool. So there's definitely a reason. And it's fine to post those things on your Facebook page as well. Davina says, your tips are extremely helpful. Thank you. And so does Heather. Let's see. I asked Mike, okay, what is the font? The font that Christina just mentioned to use on Facebook posts to make it larger. That would be when you're crafting your post and there's a little bar on top. It is only on desktop, not on mobile. And it'll say H1, H2. The H1 is when makes the font really big. The H2 is like bold and in caps. So you could do a combination of those, but you have to click on desktop to create a post to be able to see those. Let's see. Mama Donna says, thanks for sharing, Christina. I love finding new ways to grow my business. Thank you, Christina, for sharing. Thank you. Would you start with a free day for promotions? And then how soon do you transition to paid? I think we answered that. Like you're going to want to, you can turn, wait till your group builds up a little bit before you're going to, because if you can't have a paid group if you have 100 members, you really need to, I would say, leave at least 5,000 to 10,000 members and then charge accordingly, right? And how engaged your group is. Because if you don't have an engaged group, you don't have members, why are they going to pay to promote it? So I would say that, right? Christina, would you believe that as well?
Yes. And so we actually did that. So we branched, knowing you guys know me a little bit by now, Spiritual Women of New England was born out of Boston Businesswomen, because I just love posting about all this. And Christina, you have your great new group with like the law of attraction and manifesting. I let that group kind of be a free for all, meaning anyone can post, promote their events, whatever, their tips. If people were over spammy, we asked them not to, but that group grew to, I think, about 10,000 women. And then we added it to our membership program. So, the Spiritual Women of New England is part of our membership program now. So yeah, again, I think waiting for that like 5,000 to 10,000 range makes sense.
Great. I think that's it. Coach Deb is here. Thank you, Coach Deb. If you guys don't know Coach Deb, look her up. She's fantastic. So yeah. And thank you. Yes. Thank you for saying that. She says, my group is very well managed. Almost 1 million. Yeah. We're getting to that million. We're getting close. So
I know. Do you know what you're going to do to celebrate when you hit it?
Gosh, I have to think of something really good. Right? We got to think of something. So did we want to pick our winner as we wind up here?
Yes, let's do it. So I basically did a little thing behind the scenes. We do like a random calculator thing. And the name that popped up was Heather Owen. You won a free ticket into the Academy. So yeah, very excited to have you. So also, sorry, I was just going to say, Heather, please, I'm going to put it in the chat section. Email to so we can get you in, kate@bostonbusinesswomen.com.
And the replay is right now. This is being broadcast in our group in Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. So you can watch it there, but we will share also the recording. But you guys can watch us because we're live. I almost forgot we were live right now. But yeah, so Congratulations. And yeah, everybody, I highly encourage you to go to the link and check out the Success Academy, because you're going to be in very, very good hands. And I know this will help a lot of people. It's really, really amazing. Christina is brilliant. So check it out, $300 off, and the link is there. And I want to thank Christina so much for all of your great tips today and for sharing this with everybody and your amazing group. You can also join join her groups as well. She put the link there too, but definitely check out the Success Academy. And thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you all. And thank you, Christina. This was so much fun. And yeah, I love talking about Facebook groups. I could do it all day long.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care.